Welcome to PetFlix. I'm Tricia Plovey with Canine Companions Rescue Center and the host of PetFlix. Canine Companions Rescue Center is a nonprofit 501c3 corporation founded in 2004. And the purpose was for working with the community and area animal control agencies to promote the adoption of dogs without families. It's our goal to rescue dogs with good family potential, and if our adopters and our dogs are both happier after the match, then we've done our job. Our special guest this week is Scott Kenyon from Kenyon Fine Arts. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
No problem. We ran into Scott at a recent Ethan Allen event that we did in Auburn Hills, and we were so impressed with the work that he does, we decided to feature him on the show. So I thought you could walk us through a little bit of how you got started in this.
Okay.
And just talk a little bit about, the services you offer, and that's it.
Okay. Yeah, I started doing the pet portraits about 6 years ago. I've been painting and doing art most of my life. And I had a friend of mine ask me if I could do a painting of their dog for a Christmas present. And my response was, well, I've never painted a portrait of a dog before, but I'll give it a try and see how it works out. So they gave me a photograph of their dog, and I did the painting, and it turned out really nice. They framed it and enjoyed it, and then after that, someone else kept asking me, can you do a portrait of my dog? And it just kind of started going forward.
Sure.
And before I knew it, I was painting everybody's dog portraits. And I thought, well, this would be a really neat side business to start and offer this service to people. So I started promoting a lot of my dog portraitures, making business cards and flyers, promoting it on my website, and along with that, doing different events. I do demo and demonstration events at dog venues like pet spas, pet stores.
Okay.
I've also done demonstrations at charitable events like Paws with a Cause, and certain events like that, where basically I go in and I set up my easel and I bring in some paintings as I have here, and I do a demo, because a lot of times people like to see the artwork or see the finished painting, but they also like to see the artist kind of in action.
Sure.
So that's kind of an entertainment type thing I do, and people can see how I do it. And I talk to people as I'm painting, and talk about my paintings, and then the process of going about ordering a dog portrait painting for themselves. So, and it just has been very successful over the last 6 years. So.
Well, you do great work. I can see why it's been so successful.
Yeah.
Now, do you ever paint them live? You paint the dogs
no,
when they're in person,
usually
or is it always from photographs?
It's always from photos, because dogs don't sit still.
Sure, for however long it may take.
Yeah. So, yeah, people will send me photographs of their dogs. They may send one photograph, they have a specific photograph that they really like. They will send that to me, and then I'll use that as a reference to paint from. People also send me a variety of photographs. If they're not sure about what photo to use that will make a nice painting, then I'll look at a bunch of photos and kind of direct them on what would make for the best painting.
Okay.
And also sometimes people like to have suggestions, like they might want a certain background color. Some people want the dog in a landscape, maybe on the beach, or in the woods, or in their living room. So sometimes I do a variety of different painting too, along with the dog portrait. But
okay. And then, like, for instance, the painting behind you, how long did that take to do?
This was all these paintings back here are demonstration paintings. They don't really belong to anybody. I mean, I do these paintings for demonstration purposes, to take to demonstrations and events to show people what I do. Okay. So something like this smaller one back here, it depends on the dog. Sometimes they can kind of go fast, and sometimes I can have a little bit of a struggle, and it takes a little bit longer time to paint them. Right. This larger one back here took the least amount of time, even though it was bigger, because it was just a little more of an easier dog to paint. So, but primarily, mostly like a small one like this might take 2 or 3 hours, depending on how much I want to put into it and how much the person wants in the painting. most of the time, people will obviously want the portrait of their dog. They want to see the eyes, they want to see the nose and the mouth and the expression and the spirit of the dog.
Sure.
That's the most important part. So I may have to work a little longer to really capture that part of their dog portrait. So,
That makes sense.
yeah.
Well, and then you get to hear a lot of their stories, right? Of maybe why they want their dog painted. And
Yeah.
I bet that's got to be maybe a little heartbreaking if they've lost a dog.
I've painted a lot of dogs that are deceased where they lost their dog. And usually people wait a little bit longer for that, and then they'll want something special of their dog that passed away, and as opposed to just a photo of it, that they may have taken.
Sure.
They want a painting, something that's a little bit more special, and I do a lot of those, the
Yeah, I can
dogs that
imagine.
have passed on. So
And then I think you mentioned to me too, because I have 3 dogs at home, and you had even said that I could bring in pictures of all 3 of them, and you could combine them into
Yep.
one painting potentially.
I've
right?
I've done 2 dogs in one painting. Actually, I've done 5 dogs in one painting. Some people will have 2 dogs or 3 dogs, and so what we do is we take 2 or 3 dogs and we put them together in one painting.
Which is kind of nice, because
Yeah.
you may not get them to pose for a picture like that,
Yeah. So
but
you just
can
you
combine
put them
them.
together and make a nice painting of all three dogs or 2 dogs. And that always looks nice. So there's a lot of different ways I can paint a portrait. It can be just a normal one dog, or put dogs together, or as I said before, I can put certain backgrounds. I've put in wooded backgrounds. I did a hunting dog and put some grouse with it, different
nice.
flowers. I painted dogs in gardens, like they want a portrait of their dog in their flower garden, or their yard. So there's a lot of different ways I can, create a painting of the dog portrait along with other things that
Very
somebody
good.
might like. Yeah.
And then over and above the pet portraits, because you don't just do pet portraits, right?
Right. I like landscape painting.
Okay.
I like to paint outside. I enjoy being outdoors and looking at the landscape, looking at the light, and doing my own landscape paintings. And I also like to draw portraitures of people too. So I like to do, those are my 3 subject matters: landscape, portraiture, and dog portraits.
Okay.
And they're all different.
I can imagine.
Yeah,
Very
I
different
mean
from each other.
the landscapes are mostly done outside. I'm outdoors painting. You look at trees, water and grass, whatever. The pet portraits are different in a way because obviously it's a living, precious thing. It's you're sitting there painting this portrait of this dog, and it's looking at you, and you're thinking, oh, this is a nice dog. And you're capturing the spirit of the dog, and there's a little bit more. It's different. It's fun. Yeah.
You kind of bring them to life.
You bring them to life, and you try to capture the spirit of the dog. But really what I'm working to do is I want to create a portrait of a client's dog that speaks to them. They want to see, that personality or that expression of their dog. Some people might want, certain things like for instance, I had a client say, the dog's ear always draped over a little bit. Can you put that in there? Because there's certain little things about a dog that people always see, like the ear or their eyelid or certain little characteristics or a certain spot on their nose. They want to see that. So you're trying to really paint something that's going to speak to the person who's buying it and purchasing it from me. So
Well, and be as personal as
it's personal, yes.
you know,
It's a very personal.
as they want it to be. So good.
Yep.
So if anyone were interested in getting their pet's portrait painted or any type of pictures painted whatsoever, how would they get a hold of you?
Well, they can go to my website, scottkenyonfineart.com, and my email and phone number are on there. They can also view some of my other pet portraits and landscapes. So basically what they do is they contact me, either through email or phone, and I speak with the client, and they just email me photos.
Okay.
Then a lot of times I'll talk.
easy?
It's easy. Yeah, it's very simple. They just email me photos of their dog, and I take a look at it and kind of direct them on what would make a good portrait, because sometimes they're not aware of that. So yeah, it's a very simple process. I just
And then do you ship it to them? Do you deliver it to them? How does
it
that work?
depends. I've done both. A lot of times, if the person lives far away, we'll ship it to them. Or if they live close, if they live where I live in Grand Rapids, I'll just take it to them.
Okay.
Even if they live here, I'll deliver it too, depending on the distance. But it's both. I ship it and deliver it.
Okay, good. The important thing is that it gets there, right?
It gets
to them,
there, yeah.
So, good.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much for being on
Well,
today.
thank
We
you.
really
Thanks for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
And your work is
Thank you.
truly just beautiful.
Thank you.
So, thank you. Our pet of the week is Brownie. You'll see her on the screen. She's an absolutely gorgeous dog. Brownie was a mama dog. She had puppies. She is 2 years old, and she has been kept in the backyard almost her entire life until we got her. She's very people friendly and loves to go on walks and trips, but she can be dog selective, meaning it's probably best she's in a home without dogs. She's fine with cats though, and she's also fine with older kids, teenagers, and so forth, versus maybe toddlers. Because she is a big dog, she could jump on them and maybe make them fall. So a really good home for her would be someone with a super active lifestyle. She's part Lab Shepherd mix, and she loves to run and play and have a lot of fun. So someone with a lifestyle like that would really mix well for Brownie. And next we have our pet tip of the week. So what can you do to keep your pet's teeth healthy? Number one, you can get a yearly vet dental checkup. So when you take your dog in for their yearly checkup, you can also have their teeth examined by your trusted certified vet during this time. Don't indulge your pet's sweet tooth, since sugar can encourage bacterial growth in their teeth and mouth. And give your dog a good dental chew or treat to help keep tartar and plaque at bay. And brush your pet's teeth on a daily basis, or at least 2 to 3 times a week. I know that's hard sometimes, but that will help keep their teeth healthy. And then you can also consider doing a professional dental cleaning, which you can inquire at your vet for. And then, does your company have a matching gifts program or a Doers for Dollars type program for community service work? For instance, the company I work for, we have, for every $1 I donate to Canine Companions Rescue Center, they'll match $1, and that goes up into $1,000. Or for instance, if I do community service work like taping PetFlix, for instance, or helping out at Petco on Sundays, I get $15 from my employer for every hour I volunteer with a nonprofit organization, and that $15 per hour then goes back to the organization I volunteered for. So if your company does a similar program like that, or has a program in place for volunteering, we would love to partner with you at Canine Companions Rescue Center. We recently hosted a work event. It was our leadership kickoff meeting, and Canine Companions Rescue Center brought in puppies so that people could have puppy snuggles and kisses. And we did a dog food drive and raised all kinds of bags of dog food for them and dog beds, and we also raised some money to give back to Canine Companions Rescue Center too. But we'd love to partner with you on it. Even if you're not sure what your company offers, feel free to look us up at ccrcdogs.com, and we'd love to have a conversation with you about it. Speaking of neutering, we also have our Pause project still happening. So we do have openings for low-cost spay and neuters in March. If you'd like to find out more, you can visit our website at ccrcdogs.com. And then for our upcoming events, we have a Spay-Getty fundraiser. Yes, we have a little bit of a theme going on this episode. That's on March 22nd, and that's from 6 to 8 p.m. at Italia Gardens in Oxford on M24. And then, of course, we're at Petco every Sunday in Auburn Hills from 12 to 4. Thank you so much for tuning into PetFlix today. We sincerely appreciate you, and hope that you will tune in next time for other exciting events, pet tips, and of course, our Pet of the Week.